Before we begin, the most important thing in this whole recording, I am going to give it to you now, briefly. I will come back to it at the end in full. If you take only one thing from this audio, take this. Every version of you already exists. The version of you who has the thing, the relationship, the body, the money, is in a timeline that is real right now. The moment you decide that is who you are, you have stepped into it. The 3D you see today is the old timeline playing back. A recording of who you used to be. It keeps playing until you stop being that version. Decide who you are. Live is that version. When the recording plays, and it will refuse it, that's not the timeline I'm in, then on with your day. The 3D catches up. Everything else in this recording is elaboration. Useful elaboration. But this is the move. Now, the first remembrance. I am source. You are source. Whatever follows the words, I am becomes who you are, and what you are is what you experience. That is the law. That is the only law. There has never been another one. Listen. The second remembrance. The world you are looking at right now. The room. The phone. The body. The face in the mirror. The numbers in the account. The message that is, or is not on the screen. The people in your life. All of it is consciousness appearing as form. None of it is the source of anything. It is the mirror. The mirror reflects you. That is its only job. That is the only job it has ever had. You are not a person inside a world. You are awareness, and the world is the shape your awareness is taking right now. Brains do not produce consciousness. Consciousness produces brains. The body you are inside is a manifestation. A manifestation of who you have decided you are. Change the decision, and the body is no exception. The body is part of the same script. Whatever you assume to be true is true for you. Not someday. Now, the world you are looking at right now is the world your assumption produced. You are not seeing what is real. You are seeing what you have already decided is real. And the moment you decide differently, you are already in a different reality. The senses just have not caught up yet. Listen carefully. Everyone you encounter is you, pushed out. The friend who does not text back. The lover who has gone cold. The boss who does not see you. The stranger who is rude. They are characters within your own awareness, taking the shape of the assumption you hold about them and about yourself. You are not negotiating with them. You are not changing them. You are changing the assumption that produced the version of them you are currently experiencing. They have no behavior that exists outside your awareness of it. They reflect you. That is all. When you feel separate from someone, the separation is the assumption. Drop the assumption, and the separation drops with it. The third remembrance. Imagination is the real. The 3D is the trailing effect. What you have been taught your whole life is the inverse. You have been told the physical world is real, and imagination is fantasy. That is the lie. The imaginal is what creates. The physical is what gets created. You are not pretending when you imagine. You are doing the actual work of creation. The pretending is what you have been doing the whole time when you accepted the 3D as authoritative. Children know this. Children imagine without doubting. That is why their imaginations work so fast. Adults know this. Adults imagine constantly, but the imagining adults do is, what if it goes wrong? What if they leave? What if I lose? What if no one comes? And they are extremely good at making those imaginings real. You have always been doing this. The only question is whether you do it in your own favor. Creation is finished. Every version of you that could exist already exists. Every timeline, every outcome, every body you could be in, every relationship you could have, every amount of money. All of it is already real, right now. Already there. You are not creating new realities. You are choosing which existing one to live in. You step into the version that matches who you have decided you are. That is what manifestation actually is. Not making something new. Stepping into the version that is already done. Therefore, it is already done is not a motivational slogan. It is a statement of fact. The thing you want is already real. Your only job is to be the version of you for whom it is already yours. The fourth remembrance. The lag is sensory. The lag is not real. Say that out loud. The lag is sensory. The lag is not real. When you decide, it is done. Right then. Not in 2 weeks. Not when the timing is right. Not when you finally feel ready. Now. The 3D is just slow. That is its only job. To play back slowly what you used to assume. If you experience a delay between your decision and what you see, that delay is not a failure of the mechanism. It is the time it takes for the senses to update. The decision happens at the speed of decision. The senses update at the speed of senses. Both are normal. Both are expected. Persistence is not effort. Persistence is just remaining in the assumed identity over time, while the world catches up. Effort is straining. Discipline is staying. Effort says, I am working to get there. Discipline says, I am there. The world will adjust. If you find yourself effortful, you are not persisting. You are still trying. Trying is the assumption that effort closes the gap. The gap is closed by knowing, not effort. You are always manifesting. Right now. While listening. While walking. While sleeping. There is no off switch. The only question is what you are manifesting in this moment. And the answer is always whatever you currently assume to be true about yourself. Identity precedes experience. Always. Be it before you see it. The doing comes after the being, never before. You do not become rich and then act rich. You assume you are rich, and the world rearranges to match the version of you who is. You do not get loved and then feel lovable. You assume you are loved, and the love arrives. The order is fixed. It cannot be reversed. This is the inverse of what you have been taught your whole life. Get used to it. Wanting is a statement in the present. The word want implies absence. If you say I want X, you are saying X is not mine now. You are reinforcing the not having every time you describe yourself as wanting. Replace want with am. Replace will with have. Replace someday with already. Past tense and present perfect are the only valid grammars for an assumption you are running. Not I will be loved. I am loved. Not I want money. I have it. Not I'm trying to lose weight. I have always been this size. Not I hope they message. They reach out to me, of course they do, that's how it is. The fifth remembrance. Listen carefully. This is the part that frightens people if they understand it. The law is amoral. The law does not care. Whatever you imagine in a strong state, with conviction manifests. Period. Not just the good things. All things. The mechanism does not protect you from yourself. Be careful what you visualize when you are angry. Be careful what you rehearse when you are scared. Be careful what you are convinced of in the moments you are not paying attention. Imagination plus a state plus persistence equals form. Always. You have done this both ways. The times you were just in a good mood, knowing the thing was already yours, and it appeared. That was not luck. That was the law working in your favor. And the times you were hot, scared, certain it would all go wrong, and it did. Same law. Same mechanism. Different valence. This is also why the simplest possible practice is the most powerful. Be in a settled, slightly happy mood. Know it is already done. Go about your day. That is the whole law in one breath. Mood plus knowing equals manifest. You do not have to be ecstatic. You do not have to be high. You just have to be at ease, slightly amused knowing. The sixth remembrance. There are 6 things that reinstall the assumption that you do not have it. 6 wrong moves. Each one feels like trying. Each one is the opposite of progress. Naming them is half the work. The first, doubting. Doubt is the old you defending itself. The old identity is uncomfortable with the new one and generates evidence to bring you home. When doubt arises, do not argue with it. Name it. Deny it. Return to the assumption. The presence of doubt actually means you have already shifted. The old self does not panic over a small drift. So when doubt is loud, the new identity is already taking root. The second, checking. Checking is looking outside for proof. The act of looking is the act of saying, I do not yet have it. The phone, the bank balance, the mirror, the message thread, the analytics, the email. Stop the motion. Mark it. Restate the truth. Do not check again for at least a day. The check is the doubt's ritual. The third, trying. The moment you try, you are a person who is trying. A person who is trying is a person who does not have it. You do not try. You decide. You declare. Then you stop. Trying is itself the assumption that effort is required. Effort is the assumption of distance. The fourth, waiting. Waiting affirms not now. There is only now. Decide it is done. The word soon is the same as the word no. Anything in the future tense is a concession. The fifth, needing. Need is the frequency of lack. Need produces more need. The cure is to assume so completely that the desire becomes mundane. Indifference is the gate. The version of you who already has it is not desperate. The version of you who already has it is bored of having it. Be bored. The sixth, obsessing. Obsessing tells your system this is missing, urgent, abnormal. Take attention off it. Live the rest of your life. The act of normal attention to other things is itself the assumption that the desire is already handled. There is a seventh that hides among them. Asking where is it? The moment you ask where is it, you have reinstalled the assumption that it is not. Source does not ask where its manifestation is. The question is only asked by the version of you who is checking. So when the thought arrives, refuse to answer it. Restate the truth. Move on. There is an eighth, trying to figure out the how. The how is not your job. Your job is the end. Decide the end. Stay there. The path of least resistance reveals itself when you stop attempting to engineer it. Asking how is a more sophisticated form of doubt. Other people will reflect back to you your old story. They will doubt with you. They will worry on your behalf. They will say be realistic. They will reflect your fears, your doubts, your worry. This is not malice. This is the mirror. They are showing you what you have been holding. So do not initiate conversations about the situation. Do not seek advice from people who are reflecting the old story. Do not consume content that reinforces it. The voices around you are not separate from your assumption. They are an expression of it. When someone says be realistic, what they mean is, keep being who you have been. You are under no obligation to obey. The seventh, remembrance. This is the part most people miss. You do not have to feel it. The instruction was never to feel. The instruction was to decide. Try to feel it and you will fail. The feeling is downstream of the decision. If you wait to feel right before you decide right, you wait forever, because feelings come from the assumption you are already holding. Do not try to feel. Decide in your normal voice with normal conviction the way you would state your own name, and let the feeling catch up at its own pace. It will. It always does. You are already extremely good at this in reverse. You have been pretending you are broke, pretending you are not loved, pretending you are stuck. Without effort, without trying to feel anything, the negative version came easily. So now do the same in the other direction, with the same indifference to whether the feeling matches. The eighth, remembrance. Now, the practices, the actual moves. Practice 1. Decide and declare. State who you are as a fact. I am loved. I am rich. I am at ease. I am the kind of person to whom good things happen. Not as a wish. As a fact. Once. Then move on. Repeat the declaration when the old thought arises, not as a chant, but as a return. Practice 2. Live as the version. Throughout the day, act, speak, and think as the version of yourself who already has the thing. This is the work. It is not a 5-minute exercise. It is your ground. The version who has it speaks differently, walks differently, looks at their phone differently. Be that. Right now. Without waiting. Practice 3. The bedtime drift. Before sleep, drift into the moment just after the desired event has happened. Not as a wish. As a memory you are recalling. The last state before sleep is heavily weighted. Whatever assumption you fall asleep holding is the assumption your subconscious works on for the next 8 hours. Use that. Practice 4. Internal conversation. Have a quiet, imagined conversation with another person about the desired state in the tone of casual gossip. Of course it happened. Of course they came back. Of course the money showed up. Speak as someone whose news is already settled. This is one of the most powerful things in the doctrine, and it costs nothing. Practice 5. Revision. When you encounter unwanted evidence, do not accept it. Mentally replay the event differently. They did not ghost. They wrote. They did not cancel. They came. The body did not stay the same. It shifted. Revise once and let it close. The past is not fixed. You can edit it from where you are now. Practice 6. The mirror correction. When you look in the mirror and see the body that has not yet shifted, address it in real time. With conviction. I have always been this. I just had not realized. Cut off the part of you that says still not, you still look the same. Cut it off mid-sentence. Restate the truth. Talk to your reflection like you are talking to a friend who does not know yet. Practice 7. The internal apology. When the specific person has not messaged, has gone, has moved on, apologize to them internally for pushing them away, for the assumption you held that produced the silence. Tell them you are ready now. Imagine them saying, I have been waiting so long for you to say this. I have only ever wanted you. Hold the warmth of that line for a moment. Practice 8. Make it normal. When something does shift in your favor, do not celebrate it as a miracle. Treat it as of course. The version of you who has these things is not surprised by them. Big deal energy reaffirms the old assumption that this kind of thing was not yours. Practice 9. Gratitude for self. Not for things you might get. Not for the universe being kind. For you. For who you are. For your ability to decide. Gratitude pointed outward at thank you universe is begging in disguise. Gratitude pointed inward at I did this is identity work. Now, the lived moments. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you wake up. Your hand is moving toward the phone. Stop. Do not reach. The reach is the assumption that the answer is on the phone. It is not. It has never been. Say in your own voice, I am source. The day reflects me, not the other way around. Hold for 1 or 2 breaths. Get up. The phone is just a device. Reach for it later, in the natural course of your morning, not as the first act of validation seeking. That is the whole morning protocol. It takes 30 seconds. Do it every day until it stops being a protocol and starts being who you are. When you wake up in a low state, heavy, anxious, hollow, resentful, the state itself feels like the contradiction. It is not. The state is the assumption playing out, not new information. The low state is just the old assumption still echoing. It does not require your agreement. Do not try to feel different. Do not fight it. Do not reach for tricks. Decide, I am source whether I feel it or not. Then carry on with the morning. The decision is the act. The feeling is downstream. The feeling will catch up. If you wait to feel right before being right, you will be in the low state forever. The way out is through the decision, not through the feeling. When you look in the mirror, and the body is the contradiction, the face, the weight, the height, the skin, whatever you have been working on, the body is not a separate harder category of evidence. It is the same kind of evidence as the rest of the 3D. The same rules apply. Do not check. No scale. No mirror scanning. No measuring. When you do encounter the mirror, address it in real time. With conviction. I have always been this. I just had not realized. Cut off the part of you that says still not, you still look the same. Cut it off. Restate the truth. When the specific person has not messaged, they are with someone else. They are far away. The lack is loud. The phone is silent, and the silence is the contradiction. They are you pushed out. Their absence is the structural shape of an assumption you have been holding about yourself, about them, about what is possible. Apologize to them internally for pushing them away, for the assumption you held that produced the silence. Tell them you are ready now. Imagine them saying the line you have been waiting to hear. I have been waiting so long for you to say this. I have only ever wanted you. Hold the warmth of it for a moment. Then live as the version who already has them. Not delusional, just relaxed. Someone who has the relationship and is therefore not desperately scanning their phone. The phone, when you eventually check it, is just a device. When reality contradicts every day, all day, and the cumulative weight is wearing you down. The drumbeat. The frequency of the contradiction is the frequency of the old assumptions playback, not the frequency of new evidence. Stop counting them, tallying instances, nothing again today, is itself a daily ritual that reinstalls the assumption. Stay the same. Identity that requires external validation is not identity. It is hope. Imagine you had been told your whole life you were a particular person, and the world had spent that whole life confirming it. Would you wake up one morning and question it because you were tired, because someone was rude to you, because the day did not go as planned? Of course not. You would just be that person. Whatever the noise would not even be data. So just be it now. Whatever the noise. When the thought arrives, where is it? Why hasn't it happened yet? When? Catch it. Name it. That is the question that reinstalls the lack. Refuse to answer it. Do not try to reassure yourself with soon or any day now. Both are concessions. Restate the truth in the past or present perfect. It is done. It has already happened. The lag is sensory. Move on. When you cannot make yourself feel it. When you have been trying and failing. Stop trying to feel. The instruction was never to feel. State the decision plainly, internally. This is true. I know this. I do not need to feel it for it to be true. Then carry on with the day. The feeling arrives when it arrives. The ninth remembrance. The 2 layers. This is the most common confusion, so we name it directly. You have decided to be the version of yourself who is in the relationship, who has the body, who has the money, who has the result. Good. That is the work. But now you have to live a day. The person who has not messaged is real. You may have to text them about something practical, or see them at a party, or pass them in the street. Your body is the body that has not yet shifted. Your account has what it has. How do you live in 2 layers? The 4D, where it has already happened, and the 3D, where it has not yet shown up. The answer is simple and easy to miss. You do not act in the 3D as if the 4D is true. You do not text them 3 times a day because in the 4D you are together. You do not buy a £100,000 car because in the 4D you are wealthy. You do not stand in front of the mirror and tell strangers you are 6'5". The 4D work is internal. The 3D you live continues normally, with one shift. In the 3D, you live as the version of yourself who already has it, not by changing your behavior to fake the result, by having the posture of someone who already has it. The calm, the slight indifference, the lack of desperation. The version of you who is already in the relationship is not desperately scanning their phone. The version of you who already has the money is not checking the balance with dread. The version of you who already has the body is not avoiding mirrors. So in the 3D, be polite. Be normal. Do not chase. Do not perform. Do not proclaim. Do not try to engineer the outcome through behavior. In the 4D, internally, live the result fully. Have the conversation with them. Have the warmth of someone who is loved. Have the bank balance you are claiming. Have the body you are claiming. Hold all of it as already true. Drift into the after moment before sleep. See yourself from the perspective of the version who has it. The 2 layers do not contradict each other. The 4D is the cause. The 3D is the lagging effect. You are not forcing the 3D to match the 4D through behavior. You are letting the 3D catch up to the 4D by changing what is true in the 4D. When you actually interact with the person who has not yet shifted, be the version of you who already has them. Calm, whole, not desperate, not chasing, not pretending you are already together. Just the natural posture of someone who is internally complete. When you actually look at your bank account, do not pretend it says something it does not. But do not let the number define who you are. The number is part of the recording. Look at it, note it. Do not let it become a story about who you are and move on. When you actually look in the mirror, do not pretend you are taller than you are. But do not let the reflection define who you are. The reflection is part of the recording. Look, note, do not accept it as the truth about you, and move on. This is how you live the doctrine without going insane. You do not split your life into 4D and 3D. You live one life. In that life, you are the version who has it. Internally, fully. Externally, calmly, normally, without performance. The 3D will catch up. It always does. Your only job is to not force it, not chase it, not perform it. Just to be the version of you who already has it in your inner life, and to interact with the world from that posture. The 10th remembrance. Now, a few specific scenarios. Real ones. The kind of situations you find yourself in. Each one has its own trap. Each one has its own move. Listen carefully. These are the ones where the doctrine actually meets your life. Scenario 1. The physical environment that contradicts you every day. The doorway you wanted to graze. The clothes that hang wrong. The car someone else drives. The house someone else owns. The face you wanted different. The body part you have been working on. The object is right there. You cannot put it down. It is the room you are in. One way to hold this. The 3D is a frame. Just a picture in a specific moment. You are the one assigning it meaning. The picture itself is nothing. You decide what it means. Another way to hold it. Do not walk around aware that you do not have it. Walk around aware that you do. Of course you have it. Of course you have always had it. The body, the height, the home, the money is already there. Just in a different account. A different timeline. A different version of now. The move. When you encounter the object, do not measure. Do not check the gap. Do not let it become a daily ritual of still not there yet. That ritual is itself the thing keeping you out of the version where you have it. Instead, take the moment of encounter as a chance to declare. In your head, of course I clear this doorway. I have always been this height. The encounter becomes a practice, not a wound. If it is the house, the car, the visible thing someone else owns. When you drive past in your head, of course this is mine. The version I am in just has not shown me yet. A useful phrase for the daily slip. I am in a play. If I break character, I get right back into it. As a professional actor, I do not mess around. You will see the object tomorrow. You will see it the day after. Each time the same move. Eventually, the encounter stops feeling like a contradiction and starts feeling like a confirmation. Scenario 2. The one who wronged you. The person who hurt you, left you, cheated, married someone else, publicly chose another life. You are not trying to get them back. You do not want them back. What you want is the apology, the recognition, the regret. This trap is subtler than wanting them back. Wanting them back is at least obviously a desire. Wanting them to suffer recognition is the same desire dressed in clothing that lets you keep your dignity. Remember the 2 layers. Externally, you do not chase them. You do not message them. You do not demand recognition. You let your life be what it is. The work here is in what you accept internally about what happened and about who you are. Read it this way. You have a story about them. You are holding the old story. They are not out there being the person who wronged you. They are showing you back the version of you that you have been holding. As long as the version of you you are holding is the one who was wronged, they will keep showing up as the one who has not yet recognized. The hard part is giving up the wronged identity. Because being right hurts to give up. Because they actually did do what they did. But here is the thing. As long as part of you still feels like the one who was wronged, that is the version of you that is playing in the recording. And the recording is what the world is responding to. The move. Revise. When the 3D shows you you were wronged, say, nope. I was not. I was loved the whole time. They saw me clearly. We had something good. I am the version of me who is never wronged. This same move works on rejection, on losing things, on insults. Nope. It is still mine. I do not accept the loss. I am the one that always wins. It does not matter what actually happened. What matters is what you accept now. The phrase to repeat. I am not the person who was wronged. That was a story. The story is over. I am the one who was loved the whole time, even if they could not show it then. The apology, if it arrives, comes from the version of them that exists in the version of you who is no longer wronged. You do not extract it. You become the person to whom such things naturally arrive and stop needing it to feel whole. That stopping to need is what allows it to arrive. Scenario 3. The one you want who is not interested in you. The person you want. They have shown no sign. You followed them. They did not follow back. You sent a message. They did not reply. You read the signs. The signs are no. Remember the 2 layers. The work below is inner. Externally, you do not pursue them. You do not message them again. You do not refresh their feed. Externally, you are polite, you are normal, you are undramatic. Internally is where the work happens. The instruction here is direct. You do not accept the rejection. You do not accept the rejection. You do not accept it in any which way, shape, or form. No one can reject you. You cannot be rejected unless you accept that you are rejected. Your internal world is the cause. The world out there cannot tell you who you are. It cannot make a rejection real. The only way the rejection becomes real is if you accept it as real. Be polite externally. Do not argue with them. Do not get upset. If you get upset, you are saying there is truth in the rejection, and reality will catch up to that truth. Internally, tell yourself how it really went. They were absolutely enamored. They thought about you afterward. They wanted to reach out. They were just busy, distracted in their own head. The version of them you experience is shaped by what you internally accept as true. The phrases to repeat. I am the most desirable. I am the only option. My presence is captivating. They are absolutely enamored by me. I do not accept the rejection. The discipline. Stop the surveillance. No more checking their feed. No more refreshing to see if they replied. No more screenshots. No more reading into stories. The version of you who is enamored of cannot be the same person constantly checking whether they are. Be the version. Then stop checking what the version produces. The doctrine does not require you to keep messaging them. It requires you to be the assumption. The contact you do have, when you have it, be that version. Otherwise, live your life. The 3D will catch up. Scenario 4. The large amount of money. The lottery. The deal. The inheritance. The unexpected windfall. The £5 million check arriving in the post tomorrow. You have £4 in your account today. The contradiction is loud. Remember the 2 layers. The inner claim is full. Externally, you do not spend money you do not have. You do not act rich. You look at your accounts calmly. The inner work is to be rich. The outer behavior is normal. Here is the read. The size of the number does not matter mechanically. Reality bends to the assumption, whatever the assumption is. What matters is whether you actually believe the check is coming, or whether you are saying you do while internally still aware that you do not. Most people try to repeat 5 million to themselves while still feeling, underneath it, I do not have 5 million. I am waiting for it to come. That feeling, the feeling of not having, is what is actually playing. Not the words. The words are decoration. The move. Stop holding the awareness of absence. Stop affirming the money is coming. That is still future tense, still not now. Affirm money is here. Money has always been here. I have always had more than enough. The exact phrases. I am rich. I have always been rich. Money has always been easy. Every day my wealth increases. I always have more than enough. I have always had more than enough. Money is obsessed with me. Money flows to me easily. Notice these are present tense and past perfect. Not will be. Not coming. Already. Always. The phrases are spoken while having very little, deliberately. The 3D bends to the awareness, not to the bank balance. The second trap. The desperately fantasy. The this would solve everything feeling. That is the state of someone who needs to be solved. The version of you who already has the wealth is not desperate. The version of you who already has the wealth is at ease. Slightly bored about it. If you do buy a lottery ticket, buy it as that version would. Not as the rescue. As one of many channels through which money already flows to you. Then forget about it. The forgetting is itself the assumption that the wealth is not contingent on this one ticket. On the money case specifically, do not focus on a dollar amount. Focus on the abundance of it all. A steady flow. Wealth that increases every day. Whatever shape it arrives in is the path of least resistance, and the path is not your job. The 11th remembrance. And finally, the do-nothing rule. After you have decided, take no action toward the desire. None. The decision is the act. The world will arrange itself. If an action would feel natural for the version of you who already has it, take that action lightly. If an action would only make sense for the version of you who is still trying, do not take it. The test before any action: would I be doing this if I already had what I want? If yes, do it. If no, do not. This is not laziness. This is not passivity. This is the most efficient possible posture. You are letting the same mechanism that produced everything else in your life produce this too. Without your interference, the mechanism does not need your help. It does not need you to push, plan, scheme, message, force, optimize. It needs you to be the version. That is all. That has always been all. The single move that matters most. The one I told you about at the start. Now in full. If everything else falls away, this is the move. Listen carefully. Every possible version of you and your life already exists. The version of you who is in the relationship, who has the body, who has the money, that version is in a timeline that is already real right now. Not somewhere you are going, somewhere you can step into. You are not building anything. You are not waiting for anything. That timeline is here, available right now. The moment you decide that is who you are, you have stepped into it. Psychologically, you are already on that timeline. The only lag is the 3D, the senses, the data, the room around you, catching up to where you have already gone. Which it does. The rooms you are in right now. The silent phone. The same body in the mirror. The same bank balance. The way people are treating you today. None of this is new data about who you are. It is the old timeline playing back. A recording of the version of you have been holding. It keeps playing back until you have stopped being that version. So when the recording shows you that you do not have it, and it will all day for a while, the move is the same. Quietly, that is not the timeline I am in, then back to whatever you were doing. No arguing with the evidence. No trying to disprove it. No fixing it. Just a refusal and on. Now, what this means in practice. Day to day. The first move. Decide. Not want, not going to be. Decide who you are. The version who has it. Today, in your normal voice, with normal conviction, the way you would state your own name. The second move. You do not have to feel like that version. You will not at first. The instruction was never to feel it. It was to decide it. The feeling, if it arrives, arrives later. It is not the prerequisite. The third move. Live as that version. Throughout the day. Walk as them, look at your phone as them, talk to yourself as them, eat as them. This is the work. It is not a 5-minute exercise. It is your ground. The fourth move. Every time the recording plays, and it will play all day for a while, refuse it. Quietly. That's not the timeline I'm in. Then back to your day. No arguing with the evidence. No trying to disprove it. No fixing it. Just a quiet refusal and on. The fifth move. Before sleep. 1 minute. Drift into the moment just after the thing has happened. Not as a wish. As a memory you are recalling. The last thought before sleep is heavily weighted. Whatever assumption you fall asleep holding, your subconscious works on for the next 8 hours. Use that. That is the whole thing. Be the version. You do not have to feel like them. Live as them today. When the world contradicts, refuse the contradiction. Before sleep, drift into the after moment. The 3D catches up. It always does. 5 words. Be it. Stay. Don't look. Be the version who has it. Stay there even when the world is loud, especially when the world is loud. Don't look outside for proof, because the looking is itself the assumption that you don't have it. The doctrine is true, whether you remember it or not, but it works much faster when you do. Now go.